5 ways to remember your soul's purpose. Once again, I'm here at a very beautiful location in my region, southwest of the Netherlands, province called Zeeland, and I'm at a very historical site, Fort Rommekens. Fort Rommekens played a very important role during the 16th and 17th century to protect my town where I'm currently living in, which plays a very important role during the Dutch Golden Age, which was a wealthy place of many merchant traders during the East India Company and West Indian Company. And later on, this fort, which was one of the major European seaports or sea forts to protect this merchant town. Later on, this also played service to the German occupants who occupied this part of the region to fight against the Allies, English Canadian, who came from the Flemish, the other side of the river, who wanted to cross the river. So unfortunately this fort is going to close very, very soon, and when I get into my story I always tend to get lost a little bit. So what I'm going to do, I only got 20 minutes left before they close down and I don't fancy ending up here. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to find another spot where I can share these insights in complete peace. Actually, I just found a very amazing spot just up there with a very incredible view over the port region of Vlissingen or Flushing, which is of course a modern port, and of course the view over the river Westerschelde, which will end up into Antwerp, which is of course a very important trading route for the shipping industry. So let's dive straight into the 5 ways to remember your soul's purpose, and the way I'm sharing this little bit of history has everything to do with insight number 1, but I'm going to find that in another location. So number 1 for remembering or reconnecting your soul's mission or your soul's purpose. Number 1 is know your past. Now, of course, you could say the past of this current lifetime, which is a very important one. I mean, from the moment you were born, you were raised, you went to school, and all of these things that probably you can still remember. If you can't remember, then why you can't remember it? Might there be a reason for it? Is there something you want to forget, that you want to suppress or push away because it was too painful? Or maybe something happened and you completely switched out of your consciousness or out of your body, or like you didn't want to be there. So these could be signs that this is something important to have a look at. But really it's about what kind of place did you feel at home. It's a very important one, you know, like where do you can ground your roots into the earth, your energetic roots, like where do you feel like you belong, you can ground yourself, like, you know, you could say this is my home, this is where my heritage is coming from. I'm this specific kind of tree that can only grow in this specific kind of soil. If I will be cut away from my roots and it will be planted in a different kind of soil, my spirits would kind of died off. Like if you would put me into a desert, I would say like, yeah, it's absolutely incredible, it's beautiful, it's very peaceful, very silent, it's way too hot, I will die out there. I need the sea, I'm a coastal man. So, you know, this is one way to remember, like, okay, this is something that you feel like this is where you belong. Was there maybe something of your childhood that you extremely missed? It was simply not there, it was not present. Maybe an absence of a parent, a father figure or mother figure, or maybe they were present, they were just not emotionally present. Or maybe they were overly emotionally present and you felt like maybe you had to figure things out for yourself to be able to dive off a cliff and figure your way out down the cliff, and how you have to let go of the parachutes and land on 2 feet. If not, can you learn from that lesson? If you were overprotected, maybe that was a sign that maybe now you want to live a very adventurous life, or maybe you feel like stuck in constantly protection or going after safety and security. Well, actually your soul is screaming for adventure. Now, if you could say like, yeah, this is something I extremely missed for myself and I've been on a path to find that kind of fulfillment for myself. Now I am on a journey to share this path with others, of maybe people with similar kind of experiences of where they have been and where you are currently at, and can you close that bridge for them? Like, can you give them like step-by-step guidance and support to pass that bridge of where they are at with the current challenges and to the solutions to where you are currently are. If you really want to know why you were put down on this earth and really figure out your soul's mission or soul's purpose, it's really important to recognize the moments where you felt most complete, where you felt most in line with your heart desires, where you felt most fulfilled, and where you experienced the highest level of joy and purpose or satisfaction and fulfillment for yourself. If you can remember these glimpses, perhaps throughout your childhood, maybe that's a sign that this could be your soul's mission. Sign number 2, where do you come from? This is very important once again. Like, I am from this region, the southwest of the Netherlands. I felt at home, and as a kid, where I would basically spend the whole day next to the sea bank, next to the sea, swimming, diving, scuba diving, looking for fish, looking for lobsters crawling over the sea floor. I would feel at home on a boat, sailing, and all these kind of things that evolved around water. So recognizing these things, like where do you come from and what did you enjoy doing the most as a child? Maybe this is still something you are longing for right now. Also, who were your heroes back then? Who do you look up to? Who were your examples? And is this still the case, or right now you feel inspired by different kind of thought leaders or heroes or influences that really impacted your life in a certain way? Sign number 3. What is currently attracting you? What do you feel very attractive? What is it that has your curiosity or your interest? Or what is that you really want to know more about? Maybe a specific kind of time period of our history. For example, in my case, 16th, 17th century during the Dutch Golden Age, because I know my surname is kind of like connected to a wealthy merchant trader back then who established trading routes with the West Indies. So I want to be able to tap back into this kind of consciousness, both for inspiration, empowerment, the leadership that goes along with it, but also the darker aspects of it, like what were the darker practices we did during this time, what needs attention, what needs healing. Of course, I can go completely throughout this history, but I'm not going to do this right now. But everything has, of course, has two sides of the coin. Like, do we want to be spiritual entrepreneurs, inspired entrepreneurs? Like, this could be consciousness where we can pull a certain type of wisdom and knowledge of how we used to trade. But maybe we also want to be able to tap into kind of like the practice of soul retrieval or ancestral healing, which has one of my interests on what it is that needs healing throughout the consciousness, that also plays a big role in modern day the Netherlands and Europe, of European colonization, and what it is that we used to do in our past. So what is it that is currently attracting you? What is that has your interest? What it is that you want to know more about? What it is that you want to read more about it? Please let me know, simply drop a comment below. Now let's move over to the fourth one. Discover your spiritual goal or spiritual purpose. For example, you can follow a guided meditation to rediscover your goal or your purpose here on earth. Like, what is your spiritual task? Like, what is your highest level of priority that is very, very important for you? For me, I know it's all about self-care. Always reflecting back to, do I feel what I want and do I want what I feel? It's a very important navigation GPS I must follow in every kind of venture I goes into. Like, do I really feel what I want and do I really want what I feel? Do I feel rubbish about something? Maybe this is a very important sign that I must change my course into a different direction, set my sails in a different direction. So this is something that you can discover for yourself as well through following different types of guided meditations, meditation and mindfulness walks, where you go on long walks, get into your body, into the present moment, pay attention to your environment, nature, the wind, the sea, the trees, If you are in different parts of the world, maybe the mountains, the deserts, wherever you are at, pay attention to your environments. Brings you in the present moments. Last one, what is important to you? This is, maybe you want to take yourself a little bit of time to reflect on this, but where do you see injustice that you as a spiritual entrepreneur, as a warrior, as a thought leader, you want to take your sword and go into this type of battle because you see injustice and you want justice? So maybe you want to take and dive into this type of battle for yourself. Like, what is important for you? What is it that you want to change? Like, for example, if you see like injustice in our current financial system of how we are all part of a monetary pyramid scheme basically, and we are all at the top of the bottom, and where we are controlled through manipulation of the financial system, the banking systems, the major corporations of the world, and how they are extracting all the resources out of our pockets and all of it, and we get left into ignorance and poverty consciousness. Maybe you want to fight this battle, bring into new solutions, learn about decentralized finance and how we can get rid of this corrupted banking system by offering decentralized financial solutions, so we can trade between each other without the middleman who's cutting our money. Or when we have banking solutions or financial solutions where we can trade from one wallet to another and the bank doesn't freeze up our money, or where everybody from the population basically get taxed by major inflation rates that are absolutely going through the roof and money is absolutely worthless. So maybe you want to learn more about crypto and blockchain and all of these kind of technologies that can help us to become better traders and reap our financial rewards, abundance, success, independence and sovereignty in that way. This could be a battle you want to fight. Of course, maybe this could be completely different for you. Maybe you want to establish connections. Maybe you want to show people a way to ground themselves within themselves or express themselves through creative arts or expressions. Maybe there could be a way for bringing sound healing or meditations or mindfulness or any other kind of venture that you find really, really important. Helping people to connect with the spirit of the land, of nature, or maybe you want to explore different shamanic traditions that were once nourished but is like basically like washed away by modern culture, that thinks like it's all like a bit washy or whatever they call it these days, and we must find modern medicine. And you find that modern medicine is not really here to cure humanity, but you want to dive back to the roots of where energy came from. So maybe you want to explore all these different kind of traditions that we used to have tens and 15, 20,000 of years ago, the beginning of mankind. This could be another kind of purpose that you find very, very important. So now, of course, the question for you is like, what kind of insight did you get out of this? If you want to read over all these 5 signs again, I will leave a description down below. And if you are not yet on my mailing list, of course, I got the 15K in 90-day self-worth challenge, which is really dedicated to spiritual entrepreneurs who really want to lift up their vibrational frequency in order to own their value so they can be of value. So if you want to know more about it, you know where to find. There's a link down in the description down below, and join our community and let's make some changes and transformations so we can own our independence and freedom. Alright, Jean-Paul here. Hope this was helpful. Hopefully see you next in one of my next videos. Take care for now. Bye bye.